Hey, you guys, it's Ash, and today I just want to talk to you a little bit more about the benefits of solo travel. In a previous video that I did called Top 3 Excuses People Make to Avoid Solo Travel, I talked about one of the benefits being, the ability to meet people because a lot of people are afraid of doing solo travel because of the fact that they think that they're going to be so lonely and so bored. And what I found to be interesting is that you actually can meet a lot of people when you are doing solo traveling. So if you're interested in that, then keep watching. So, the social benefits to solo travel, I have my list right here. One of the things on my list is you get to meet new people and make new friends. This is so true because of the fact that when you travel by yourself, people are going to be wondering, like, I wonder what she's doing by herself. Like, that's different. I wonder if she's waiting for somebody to show up. Like they'll see you doing something and it'll look like you're having a good time, or it won't, or whatever it looks like. They'll just see you. And when they see you and everybody else is with somebody, you're going to stand out. And that's just what it is, especially as a woman if you're traveling by yourself. Because I think it's a little more rare for women to travel by themselves because I think guys do it more. And when they see a woman that's by herself, they're just like, it almost took me back to a whole different time period where it's just like, where's her escort? Like that's how people react sometimes. Like they're just like, is there a guy that's going to show up? So there's no girl, like you're just by yourself out here, like in the world. And I'm just like, you're going to be like, yeah, just the same way how you're alone typically when you're running errands. Sometimes you might run out in your city where you live, grab a bite to eat. It's not that strange. You know what I mean? Of course, when you travel places, sometimes you stand out and people will look at you and be like, okay, she looks like she's maybe not from here. She looks like a foreigner. And so that will happen. So people are going to notice you. And when they notice you, some people will walk up to you and they will initiate conversation, which is a good thing. If you're a social person and you are traveling with the intention of making new friends and meeting new people, traveling solo is the way to go for sure. Especially if you're receptive to it and you're, asking engaging questions back to them. You're not just like answering questions that they ask you like, yes, no, I don't know. Like you want to be like, oh yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm here by myself. They're going to be like, oh, wow, that's so brave. Like, I can't believe that you did that. Like, what inspired you to want to travel by yourself? Like, why? And so they'll start asking you questions about it and it'll just create automatic dialogue. Like you almost don't even have to think about anything to say because the fact that you're traveling by yourself is a whole conversation in itself. um, let's see. Yeah, I think they might ask you questions. I'm trying to remember. People ask me like, do you travel by yourself all the time? So you're not afraid. So, oh man, I've been wanting to travel by myself. So you're going to inspire a lot of people just by traveling alone. Okay. So that's going to happen. And that's going to be something that you can talk about in great detail, especially about your current experience, but if it gets weird, if somebody comes up to you and it seems like they're trying to pry or they're trying to get information from you and they're trying to maybe figure out where you live, or they're trying to figure out, what you're doing next and it just feels kind of off. If your little voice on the inside is telling you this isn't right, believe it. Go with it and dismiss yourself from the situation, dismiss yourself from that person, tell people whatever the heck you have to tell them because, if it's stranger danger, then you could just make up anything and tell them because it doesn't matter, right? Go with your gut in those situations, you know when it feels right and you know when it doesn't. And, using common sense when you travel alone is extremely important. So remember that, okay? Let's see, going back to my notes. Another beautiful thing that traveling solo has is people will invite you places like parties and events to enhance your trip, because they'll be like, oh my God, so you're here by yourself? It's just you? Oh, sure. Why don't you come? We're having a party tonight. It's going to be here, or there's an event tonight. I have an extra ticket. If you'd like to come, feel free. You're going to end up getting invited to some pretty cool stuff because of the fact that you are by yourself. And of course, like when you're traveling with people and, you are in a group, or even if you're with like one girl or two girls or whatever, you're less likely to get invited to places because, it's going to take up space, period. I mean, you know what I mean? You're much more likely to get involved to a really cool place because somebody wants to make your trip doper like when you're alone. And that's just what it is, because people are excited to show you around their city and their country because of the fact that you're excited and the fact that you opened your mind up enough to come. So people would just randomly start looking out for you. And it's a really beautiful thing. People just become so hospitable when they know somebody is by themselves. It's something that I wasn't really anticipating at the rate that it happened, And it's incredible. Again, use your discernment, okay? If it feels right, go. You can tell when somebody's being like super friendly and stuff like that, and they mean well. But like, for example, I have a friend and they go rent mini yachts on their own sometimes. And they do it in Miami. And when they do it in Miami, a lot of times when it's like a Sunday and everybody has their boats out and stuff like that, typically you don't really see anybody by themselves. You see people, they're out, and there's multiple people, they're partying. And one time they were out on the yacht, and because of the fact that they were out on the yacht, another boat saw them and they were just like, hey, are you by yourself? What's going on? And they were just like, yeah. They were just like, come over. So they had the driver of their yacht go over to the other yacht and they were just like, come get on the boat. They were partying, drinking. They were just like, we have plenty of food. And they were just like, oh, well, I mean, I have plenty of food on mine too. But hey, it's a vibe. And they made friends. They were invited out to this really nice party. And they just made so many connections. And it was just so amazing. So just keep that in mind. Like, people become extra super nice and extra super social when you're by yourself. Okay? Now, granted, that person, is used to that. So that's not necessarily the attention that they wanted. But they still had an amazing time. Like, even though they didn't go out searching for that, because they frequent Miami. That's nothing new. It's not out the country or anything, but that's just an example. Solo travel, doing things by yourself. You will meet people. Let's see. Another thing that I noticed is that when you travel solo out of the country, sometimes you'll meet other girls that are traveling solo by themselves as well. And so you'll end up instantly bonding, and you can make a friend with somebody who has a common interest, who likes to solo travel. It's very rare. A lot of people are reluctant to travel alone due to a lot of things. Sometimes they're afraid. Sometimes they think it'll be lonely. Sometimes, they can't afford it and things like that. But you can make friends just like that, and now you have a friend that likes to travel. So if the whole reason that you're traveling solo is because you couldn't find anybody to travel with you, because some people just don't enjoy traveling, they're just like, what's the point? I can do all this at home. Guess what? You met somebody who likes to travel now. Insta friends, okay? It's really dope. Also, one time I took a cooking class when I was in Accra, Ghana by myself. I took a cooking class. There was a girl there. She was by herself. She was taking a cooking class too. And we just connected, had a great time. We were laughing. We took footage of each other. We were able to get some dope shots of each other while doing it. And, we exchanged numbers. And she lived in New York. I had a layover in New York when it was time for me to leave Ghana. I met up with her. We had a bite to eat. We had some drinks. And it was just amazing. So, and I think I have like a friend for life now, and she's just super cool. And I just make sure that I stay in contact with her and everything, and vice versa. And one time I went to Dubai by myself and I met a girl. I went out to a club and she was like a local. So she was like, oh my gosh, you're by yourself. I can show you around. Let me show you the ropes. Let me show you some different things that are here. Some really cool places that, I had no idea about. She was showing me stuff that locals knew about. So she was putting me on, and we've been friends for years now. She moved to New Zealand, but yeah, like we're friends, and she was so friendly and so hospitable and so sweet. And she was just like, watch out for this person, watch out for this person. So you learn the ropes, and it's really, really helpful when you meet local girls there who are just a vibe, because it's amazing. Yeah, so that's basically it. I just wanted to share that with you. I appreciate you watching. And this is just another video encouraging you to reconsider your reluctance and take the trip. Book a solo trip, do it, try it. The life that you want is on the other side of fear. Don't be afraid. Just plan, do your research, and that's it. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.